Hey, it's the Chief, bonding with board games. First of all, let me explain the hat. I had some, one commenter come in and say, this hat, my little rainbow plastic gardening hat, was distracting. Well, heck yeah, it's distracting. You betcha. All right, actually, I started wearing this in my Scotch reviews. If you haven't seen that, go watch Scotch Test Dummies. This hat comes about because I do so many videos with both shows that my buddy and I, who's my co-host on Scotch Test Dummies, reviewing Scotch, we'll go to Goodwill and find the coolest, weirdest, oddest shirts and buy them at a total discount. And we happened to be there, and he picked this up and said, I bet you wouldn't wear that on the show. Bam, wore it on the show. Tom Vazel always wears crazy hats, and I always liked it because of the visual medium. And so I picked it up, started wearing it, especially in the Scotch show. A lot of Scotch reviewers are kind of serious and really into the minutia, and I come on wearing this hat, and people know they're going to get something a little different. Hence this. All right, last Christmas, my wife knows I'm wearing all manner of hats on my shows, and she gets me this and says, will you wear that on the show? Yes, I will. So it's been on the Scotch show, now it's on the board game show. Hello! And if you thought this was distracting, how about my little monster here? He kind of reminds me, I don't know what he is. I know he's not the same shape, but he reminds me like a Pac-Man ghost. But I don't know what it is. But what are we talking about today? We're talking about Temp-Purr-A. All right, this is another game from iello in their mini games line. If you haven't seen the Candy Chaser video, you can go watch it, but I won't go into it as much here, but I love when any company, but I love what iello's doing with these white boxes, same size, mini games, all the information you need right on the side there, and it just looks great on a shelf. I love when companies do a run like that. So what is Temp-Purr-A about, though? Temp-Purr-A it's way more than Uno, but think of that Uno system where you're drawing cards, although here you're not trying to empty your cards out, but you're drawing cards, you're reversing the order, you're being forced to eat or grab more cards, and there's an indigestion card in there. And when you have to draw a whole bunch of cards, which I'll show you in the close-up how play works, if you end up drawing an indigestion card, then you get an indigestion token. And the first person that gets 3 of these tokens is the loser. And then you come back and you work out the winner. And if there's a tie, how many cards in your hand? Nope, you didn't get it. The guy with less cards. Excuse me. Been drinking coffee, my voice got tight. So, but we'll go in. Let me go in and show you that gameplay now. And then we'll come back out and we'll talk about it. All right, in close with Temp-Purr-A. First of all, let me show you this. See, here's how our whole thing looks here. And this is what I like. You can see we're talking 20 minutes, 3 to 7 players, 8 and up. We can handle much lower than that. All right, nice little box. All right, playing Temp-Purr-A. First, this is the setup. You've got your big deck that you're going to be drawing from. Think of like a big Uno deck. You got your indigestion tokens, which you do not want to collect. The first person to get 3 ends the game. The person with the least amount of these wins. We'll cover what happens because there's a lot of ties. Well, ties come down to who has the least amount of cards in their hand. These are indigestion cards. One of them has been loaded in here. When you draw an indigestion card, you're going to get a token. You don't want those tokens. So gameplay goes, you're going to have the active kind of dishes, and then you're going to have this discard pile, which you'll see. So let's just say I'm beginning, and I've got an extra 7. So I would lay my 7 in, and we're going clockwise at this point in time. This can flip, so sending us back counter. It would simply go to the next player. He does not have a 7, but he can do, or she can do something pretty cool. They can like reset it if they don't have that dish. So I'll show you. They would discard this over here, and they would take, let's just say we'll use their 3s. They've got to have a pair. So they set the new dish, and this gets discarded. And now it goes clockwise to the next player who comes in. And you can see they have a 3. So it comes around. I like to actually cascade this down. And you see I have a 3 as well, but I could sit here and set this down and I could change the turn order. I could just pick someone else to go. So let's say I just pick the guy behind me. We stay in the same order. He could pick and do the same thing. He could do a reverse, send it back the other way. And we come back around and lo and behold, somebody does not have a 3. Now just to show you real quick, the cards run from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The special cards are reverse, a +1, which is going to add to how many cards you draw from here, which I'm going to show you in a second, or that pick order. Of course, we have our indigestion cards. So he could reset it again. So I'm not going to show you that. He could reset it again. Let's either pretend he doesn't want to do that or he doesn't have this, so he's got to eat. The way you eat here is you look and it's 3 plus 3. These don't cause you to eat anything. Sometimes you'll have the little special ones that say +1. So he would have to draw 6 cards. He's going to discard this. And he's going to draw 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and he has to stop. He got the indigestion. So this means he shows, hey, I got it. He has to take a token. You do not want, when you get 3 of these, game's over. Person with the least wins. So he's got that. He keeps these. Everybody keeps the cards in their hand. You don't flush them and restart. This is what you have. It's what they have. However, you do take the discarded cards, the indigestion card, and you have the option when you take a token that you can add another one in. All right, so let's just say, you bet I want to do that. And these then get shuffled in to this deck, and you just restart over doing that exact same thing. So you can see the +1. Had that been in there, instead of the 3 plus 3, it would have been 3 plus 3 plus 1. And you're just going around and around, reversing it around, very much an Uno feel. Well, let's come out and I'll give you my thoughts on Temp-Purr-A. All right, so again, the winner is the person that gets the fewest amount of indigestion tokens. There are always ties with that. Well, not always, but a lot of time you're gonna have ties. So that tiebreaker is then the person with the fewest amount of cards in their hand when in-game is triggered, when someone gets their 3rd token. Max time on this is about 20 minutes. So again, it's exactly that. A quick filler, a little mini game. I love the deck thing, the Uno deal. Some people don't even like Uno. I still like Uno. Okay, I still like Uno. I think it's a great family game. Yes, it's not a deep strategy, but it just whoop, whoop, whoop. So that's what you're getting here, but you've seen the different options you have and the way you can lay in the cards, and you still got the reverse order, and okay, I can't match that. I've got to draw a bunch of cards. Then I got the indigestion. Now I've got the option of throwing more indigestion cards in there. So do I want this thing to start picking up, or do I, what do I want it to do? I like that aspect of it because you can either, there's a ton of indigestion cards in there and you're just like, or there's one in this whole deck and you're just like, hey, I got room to play here. I got room to play. Although anytime you're drawing, now you're in the hot seat. So, and anytime you've got those control cards, the reverse is always fun. Let's be honest with that. I love reversing it right back on you. I know I got a little freebie. I can build up my deck a little bit or my hand a little bit to control the deck and do what I want to do. That's what I like about it. Again, this line, these are simple filler type games. And this one's got more depth than Uno, but it's, to me, has that Uno feel. And that is what I like it for. And again, how can you go wrong with this cute little package? Okay, the set, the lineage. I want more of these. Hopefully there's not just 2, because that doesn't look as good on my shelf. I think 8 of them. And hopefully they're all just phenomenal. But these are fillers. Again, great family game, great filler game. And comment on the hat and the shirt. Little Down syndrome shirt. This one is from Puerto Rico. So I get Buddy Walk shirts. I get all kinds of Down syndrome stuff. Again, my 7-year-old has Down syndrome. And this is a game, again, I can play with him. He can either team up with me, which is what we do right now, and we kind of pick the cards, or can you match that? He gets it. And, hey, now draw 7. And if you get that, you got the indigestion. All right, and then he just knows, and we just move along. Fun for him. He can join in. That's the kind of system that's going on with these and Temp-Purr-A. It's the Chief, bonding with board games. Game it. See you guys. Bye.